Hey guys, it's Hypetrain here, this time with a video on Tower of Fantasy. This video will be a beginner's guide to help you start off strong and get you into the end game. This guide is everything you need to know about the game so you don't waste your time and resources. I took my time and waited until I unlocked all of the modes in this game to make this guide as comprehensive as possible. So this guide is going to be for new players who are coming into this game with almost zero knowledge and want to know all the important modes and systems in this game and what they should be doing. With that said, let's go on to the guide. The first thing I want to talk about is character customization. So this game is an MMO, so you do get to create your own character. The character customization is very detailed and has all sorts of options. If you want to make a female character, there is a boob slider, as you can see here. There are also presets made by other players where you can have your character look like Hu Tao or Keqing from Genshin Impact, or Raftalia from Rise of the Shield Hero. The game also comes with default preset characters, so if you're just lazy you can choose one of these default presets and customize your character from there. You can also equip your character with different outfits, and you can change the color of that outfit. And as you play through the game, you'll unlock even more outfits. Also from playing through the game, you will get new weapons, and the SR and SSR weapons have skins attached to them called Simulacra. I will explain later on in this video how Simulacra works. So the next thing I want to talk about is how to progress the main story. The main story is pretty straightforward. It's similar to how it works in Genshin Impact. You have a main quest line to follow, and you just follow and complete the quest objective to progress the quest line and get to the next quest. So right now my quest objective is to leave through a certain exit. To track this quest objective, I go into my map, and the objective is marked by this yellow icon here. The main quest is a lot of storyline exposition and a lot of dialogue and cutscenes, just like Genshin. There is a limit to how far you can go in the main quest line each day, so if you keep pushing the main storyline, you will reach a point where you have to wait until the next day to progress further. There is also a level cap that will be raised over time, so if you keep pushing your character level, you might reach a point where you have to wait until the next day to increase your character level. This is designed to keep players on a level playing field so that no one is massively ahead in the game. The storyline is good and worth paying attention to, in my opinion. It was confusing in the beginning because it threw you into situations without any context, but it got better when I got to a second town because then the backstory got explained more and I got more into it. The English voice acting is all over the place, with some voice acting being good and sometimes it's really bad. That's why I just played the game with Japanese voice acting. The cutscenes are really good, especially the cutscenes with a lot of action. The next thing I want to talk about is story progression. As you progress through the main story quest line, you can go to this story progression section where you can claim rewards. Side quests also counts towards the story progression. Rewards include potent Omnium Crystal, Gold Nuclei, Dark Crystal, and Gold. So next thing I want to talk about are achievements. So there are achievements in this game, and they work much like they do in Genshin. So to get to your achievements, you go into your terminal and you go to achievements. An example of achievements include beating a certain boss monster or reaching a certain level. And every time you complete an achievement, it gives you achievement points. And when you get enough achievement points, you get various rewards like gold nuclei, proof of purchase, which are currency to pull on the Matrix banner, and mighty mushrooms, which permanently increases your max endurance. So yeah, just keep looking out for achievements and claim your achievements when you're finished doing them. So next thing I want to talk about is exploration. To check on your exploration progress, you can open up your map. And let's say I want to check on the exploration progress on the Astra region. So to increase your exploration progress, you do things like unlock space rifts, unlock Omnium towers, complete ruins, find scenic points, and open supply pods. And at certain thresholds of exploration progress, you get various rewards. And these rewards can include this relic, which does a lot of AoE damage. You can also get this mighty mushroom, which permanently increases your endurance. You get 5 gold nuclei, which are really, really important. And you can also get this Conqueror outfit. The next thing I want to talk about are space rifts. So space rifts look like this, and they're the main way to fast travel in the game. So when you have an area that is unexplored, you have to unlock space rifts by going to them and discovering them. And discovering that space rift will unlock it on your map. So space rifts pretty much look like this symbol on the map. And once you unlock that space rift, you can transmit it, which will fast travel to that space rift. So the next thing I want to talk about is cooking. So when you go exploring, you'll find these cooking pots that allow you to cook food. And to cook food, you will need recipes. And the main way of getting recipes is by completing quests. So eating food can have 2 types of effects. One is increasing your satiety. Satiety represents how hungry you are. So the more satiety you have, the more full you are. So to check your satiety, you can go into your character page, and here you can see your satiety bar. So the higher your satiety, the faster you regenerate your health when not in combat. And when you regenerate your health, your satiety depletes until it reaches 0, which you will then stop healing. And there are some food that can heal you instantly. So cooking food is your main source of healing, so you want to explore the world, gather materials, and use them to cook food in these pots when you can. To select the food you want to eat, you can go into this quick use menu and select the food that you want to eat. And to eat the food, you can press F2 if you are on PC, which is the default key for eating food. You can also just click on the icon here. So next thing I want to talk about is crews. Crews are pretty much like guilds in other MMOs, and you want to join a crew as fast as possible because there are many benefits. So to go to your crews menu, go here, go to crew, and here you can accept crew missions, and you when you complete these missions, you get crew points. You can also donate to your crew. And to use those crew points, you go to your commissary and you go to crew store. In here, you can use your crew points to buy relic shards for upgrading your relics, or you can buy potent omnium crystals for upgrading your suppressor. The next thing I want to talk about are mounts. There are various mounts that you can unlock as you continue progressing through the game. Mounts can help you travel faster and have an easier time exploring the open world. The first mount you get is this bike right here. So next thing I want to talk about are relics. Relics are items that you can equip that grant more combat abilities. So these include a missile barrage or a force push ability. So to go to relics, go here. And go to relics. And relics are also used for exploration. For example, using a missile barrage to destroy certain walls to reveal chests. You can also upgrade your relics. And upgrading your relics use up these relic shards, which you can get by buying them through the crew store. So next thing I want to talk about is your suppressor. Your suppressor gives you a lot of base stats, and you want to upgrade it as much as possible. To get to your suppressor, you want to go to your suppressor section. To upgrade your suppressor, you want to reach certain milestones and get enough potent omnium crystals to upgrade it. Upgrading your suppressor can also unlock new matrices for you. The next thing I want to talk about is gear. Gear are armor pieces that you can equip that will give you even more stats. To go into your gear, you go into your backpack, and here is the gear that you have equipped. And if you go into your equipment, this is all the gear that you have in your inventory that you don't have equipped. You can also enhance your gear. So enhancing your gear level ups your gear so that it gives you even more stats. And enhancing your gear uses these booster modules, which you can get by going through the Bygone Phantasm, or buying them in the Crystal Dust store, or various other ways. So as you can see, enhancing my gear gave me more stats, more attack, more HP. I can also advance my gear. So when I advance my gear, I feed it gear of the same type. So I have these other wristbands that aren't equipped in my inventory, and I can use this to feed into the wristband that I have equipped. And as you can see, filling up that EXP bar, it increases my HP stat. So it increases one of these three stats at random once I have this bar full. So gear also comes in different rarities. There is silver gear, green gear, blue gear, purple gear, and yellow gear. And the higher the rarity of the gear, the better it is for the gear. So let's say you have a blue wristband that you've been enhancing, but later on down the road you find a purple or yellow wristband which is higher rarity. you can actually transfer the enhancement from the blue wristband to your new purple or yellow wristband so that you don't lose your enhancement level. The next thing I want to talk about is the combat in this game. So in this game, you can have up to 3 weapons that you can switch out at any time. Each weapon has many different attacks and abilities attached to them. You can check all the information on a weapon by going here. As you can see on this screen, you can see all the stats for a weapon. You can see what element is that weapon. For example, these pistols are a Volt type weapon. This is useful because certain enemies have certain resistances to a specific element type. So you do want to have a team of weapons that cover different elements. Each weapon also belongs to one of 3 weapon types. For example, these pistols are a DPS weapon. The 3 weapon types are DPS, healer, or tank, which are self-explanatory if you played MMOs before. Each weapon also has shatter and charge properties. Shatter is how strong the weapon is at breaking shields. So some enemies have the ability to activate a shield, so you want to use a weapon with high shatter to break that shield. Charge determines how fast that weapon will be for increasing the discharge meter for your other weapons. So I will include a gameplay clip later on showing how discharge attacks work. If you click on this magnifying glass, you can see all the different attacks a weapon has. So the normal attacks are all combos your weapon can do. So your weapon can do different combos based on many different things, such as whether you're using normal attacks or heavy attacks. And heavy attacks are done by holding the normal attack button. You can also do different combos in the air. There's all sorts of different ways to do different combos, and you can read all the information here on this screen. Each weapon also has a unique dodge effect, and I will include a gameplay clip showing how dodging works later on. Each weapon also has a unique skill where once you use that skill, it goes on a cooldown before you can use that skill again. Each weapon also has a unique discharge skill that you can read here. Once again, I'll show how discharge attacks work later on. So here, I'm going to demonstrate how dodging and discharge attacks work. So I'm going to explain this interface here. So right now I have my pistols equipped, and the 2 weapons I can change to are my iron rod and my chakram. And as you can see, both of those weapons have this white meter around them. Once that white meter is full, the weapons start blinking, and I can change to that weapon to activate that weapon's discharge attack. Also on this interface is my dodge meter. So this blue bar here is my dodge meter, and as I use dodges, the dodge meter depletes until it runs out. And once it runs out, I have to wait until it fills back up again to start using dodge again. So to demonstrate how discharge attacks work, I'm going to charge up my discharge meter. I'm going to switch my chakram, and I'm going to activate my chakram's discharge attack. So I'm going to demonstrate how perfect dodge works by dodging at the right time when an enemy attacks. So right now, I just activated perfect dodge. And what that does is slows down time so I can attack the enemy, and the enemy can't attack me. So doing a perfect dodge also fills up my discharge meter once. So I can use a free discharge attack. The next thing I want to talk about is upgrading your weapons. So upgrading your weapons work in a very similar way to Genshin Impact or other gacha games when you level up a character. To upgrade your weapon, you need this item called Weapon Battery. And to obtain Weapon Battery, you get them from all sorts of content, including Dimensional Trials, Interstellar Exploration, Omnium Beacons, bounty missions, or opening chests. And for every 10 level you upgrade a weapon, you will hit a limit and you will need to augment that weapon to further increase the level of that weapon. And to augment that weapon, you need certain materials that it shows here. And to obtain these materials, there's all sorts of different ways to obtain them. You can buy them from stores. You can get them by opening chests, going through ruins, doing dimensional trials, omnium beacons, all sorts of different ways. So you will need to augment that weapon to upgrade that weapon further. Also, you can advance a weapon using duplicates of that weapon that you get from gacha pulls. It works in a very similar way to constellations in Genshin Impact. So when you advance a weapon, you unlock special passive traits for that weapon, just like in constellations in Genshin Impact. So when leveling your weapons, I would just try to choose 2 weapons to try and max out. You don't want to focus on more than 2 weapons because doing that will spread your resources too thin. So next thing I want to talk about are matrices. Matrices are similar to artifacts in Genshin. They give you more stats as well as a set bonus if you equip enough matrices of the same set. So to get to my matrices, I'm going to go into weapons, gonna go into matrices, gonna go to affix, and for each weapon you can equip a matrix for your mind, memory, belief, and emotion. You can also upgrade your matrices, which further increases your stats even more. And to get the matrix upgrade materials, you can get them from many different ways, such as farming interdimensional trials. Sometimes you will get to a point where you will need to be a higher level to further upgrade a matrix. And to get the matrices themselves, you mainly farm them from joint operations. The next thing I want to talk about are Simulacra. So SR and SSR weapons come with skins that you can decide on whether you want to equip or not. These skins or simulacra are entirely cosmetic, and they change your player character to another character. So to see your simulacra, go here, go to weapons, go to simulacra, and these are all the simulacra that you own. For example, the SR spare weapon comes with the Echo Simulacra. And when I activate the Simulacra, as you can see, I become Echo. Once again, these are just entirely cosmetic. So you can get experience through 2 ways. One way is one-time experience, which is experience that can be gained only once. One-time experience is gained through main storyline quests, side quests, and supply pods. Main storyline quests give you the most experience. Side quests are scarce in the beginning, but do give a little bit of experience as well as relic upgrade materials. Supply pods are one-time chests that give you a substantial amount of XP. The XP gain is proportional to your level, so you don't want to open these pods when you are at max level. Right now I am currently at max level, but I will open it for demonstration purposes. So to get these supply pods, you want to clear these camps, and you get these supply pods as a reward for clearing the camp. This one is a type 2 supply pod, which is a more rare supply pod. And as you can see, I get gold, I get weapon parts, and I also got a gold nuclei, which is the gacha currency. So definitely try to keep an eye out on these supply pods. So the next type of experience is to repeatable or respawning experience, which is content that you can repeat to level up. I'll now go into detail what content gives you repeatable experience. The next thing I want to talk about are green chests. These green chests are called rusted iron boxes, and these give various rewards and will constantly respawn over time. They also give a small amount of XP. You do not need anything to open these chests. Password chests are daily respawning chests that give out various rewards, including XP. To open a password chest, you can force it open, or you can open it with a cipher, which are mainly gained from completing bounties. Opening chests with a perfect cipher gives more XP and more resources than forcing them open, but force opening a chest does not use a cipher. So the next thing I want to talk about are bounties. Bounties are very important daily content and are probably the first thing you want to do each day. To track your 4 daily bounties, go into your venture log, go to recommended, go to daily bounty, and here are your daily bounties. So as you can see, some of my daily bounties include killing 2 Aiden Zealots, or eliminating headhunter elites. And to track down a bounty, you click on track down, and then it'll show you on the map where your bounties are. So as you can see, the bounties are indicated by this purple symbol right here. So bounties are very important because they give a lot of XP, which help a lot with leveling up. And they also give you ciphers as a reward, and ciphers are keys for opening password chests. And also for bounties. So the more bounties you do, the more you level up your bounty rank. And as your bounty rank increases, you can accept more difficult bounties that give higher rewards. So next thing I want to talk about is Mia's Kitchen. You go to Mia's Kitchen, go here, go to recommended, and go to Mia's Kitchen. So Mia's Kitchen allows you to cook food that gives various buffs. This refreshes about every 6 hours, and you can eat a meal from the kitchen 3 times a day maximum. They do give XP as well as gold and other resources.
ミアは料理のプロセスを実行中。少々お待ちください。
The next thing I want to talk about is Vitality. Vitality is just like Resin in Genshin Impact or Stamina in other Gacha games. It replenishes over time, and you need Vitality in order to do certain types of content. So to see these types of content, go to your adventure log, select, and as you can see, all this content here requires Vitality. Joint Operations, Eventual Trials, Interstellar Exploration, Omnium Beacon, Spacetime Domain. And this is how much Vitality you have right now. Right now I'm at 140 Vitality. And if you click on it, it'll show you how long it takes for me to gain 1 Vitality. And how long it takes for me to do a full recovery, which is get to 180 Vitality, which is the maximum you can hold. So Dimensional Trials, Interstellar Exploration, Omnium Beacon, Spacetime Domain all cost 30 Vitality. Joint Operations cost 90 Vitality. Completing all this content also gives you energy dust, which you can use in this store. And you can use energy dust to buy all sorts of things. Most importantly are the booster modules and advancement modules to enhance your gear. You can also buy all sorts of gear at this store. The next thing I want to talk about are joint operations. So joint operations are a type of content that costs Vitality to run. It costs 90 Vitality and is the main way to get new gear and matrices. And as you can see here, on different days, different areas for the joint operations become available. And the different areas contain different enemies and bosses, as well as different gear and matrices, which you can check by clicking on the area. And as you progress through the game, level up, you will unlock higher difficulties for the joint operation. And once again, running joint operations is the main way of getting new gear and new matrices. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what a joint operations look like. The next thing I want to talk about are dimensional trials. So dimensional trials are another type of content that costs vitality to run. It costs 30 vitality. Our main way of getting weapon upgrade materials or matrix upgrade materials, which you can select here. And as you level up, you unlock higher difficulty for the dimensional trials. The higher the difficulty, the more rewards it gives you. And on different days, there's different effects for the dimensional trials. For example, today, there's 50% physical damage reduced for all the enemies. So dimensional trials are not that different from ruins or joint operations. You go through the area, and you kill a bunch of monster mobs until you get to the end. The only difference is that you don't fight a big boss at the end, just like in ruins or joint operation. I'll include a gameplay clip of what a dimensional trial looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is Interstellar Exploration. So Interstellar Exploration is another type of content that costs vitality to run. It costs 30 vitality and is another way of farming weapon upgrade materials. So when you click on go, it'll mark on your map these purple icons here, and these are stargates. So right now I'm next to a stargate, and when I go through this stargate, basically what happens is that I fight 3 waves of monster mobs, and then I get rewards at the end. I'll include a gameplay clip of what one of these stargates looks like. The next thing I want to talk about are Omnium Beacons. So Omnium Beacons are another type of content that costs vitality to run. It costs 30 vitality to place a beacon, and placing a beacon gives you weapon upgrade materials as well as matrix upgrade materials. So let's go ahead and claim an Omnium Collector. Then let's deploy it. So it takes time for the beacon to charge up and give you all the rewards. You do get EXP as well as some weapon upgrade materials, but once it's fully charged up, it gives you even more reward. So check back later on at this beacon and you can claim those rewards. The next thing I want to talk about are Spacetime Domains. Spacetime Domains are another type of content that costs vitality to run. It costs 30 vitality and is the main way of farming gold. Gold is a resource used in almost everything in this game. It is used for upgrading matrices, weapons, and gear. So farming these Spacetime Domains are our main way of getting them. So Spacetime Domains are basically you get transported to a random ruin that you've already completed and you have to go through the ruin again. This time there's no green chest to find. You just go through the ruin and beat the big boss at the end. And when you beat the big boss, you get the gold rewards. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what a Spacetime Domain looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is ability training. Ability training are mini games with different objectives and is a daily activity. Some of these mini games include a memory game, rolling down a ball, or running to a point in a certain amount of time. Doing these ability training gives ability points, which you can spend at the shop. One of the most important things you can buy at the shop are these purple gifts. So these purple gifts increase the report of a character. Increasing the report of a character unlocks special passive traits. Another important thing are these blue gifts, which they are used to help unlock SSR relics. You can also buy weapon batteries and matrix data. So to start an ability training minigame, click on Go, and it'll show on your map these icons. These icons are ability training structures. So that's what these ability training structures look like, and you go up to them to start your ability training. The next thing I want to talk about is the Bygone Phantasm. So the Bygone Phantasm is a tower mode where on each floor you will fight and kill a monster mob. Beating a floor will allow you to go to the next floor where the monster mob will be even stronger. You get a score based on which is the highest floor you end up on and your clear time. Rewards are given to the top 100 players with the highest scores at the end of the week. Rewards include gear upgrade materials and weapon upgrade materials. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what the Bygone Phantasm looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is PvP. So let's go to Challenge and Apex League. So the Apex League is this game's PvP mode. In this mode, it is a 1v1 match where everyone is equal no matter what gear or level they are. The first player to get the first 2 kills wins the match. And the more matches you win, the higher your rank will increase. The Apex League has seasons which last a month, and at the end of the season, whatever rank you are, you will get rewards based on that rank. So right now, the highest rank is Grand Marshal, so getting Grand Marshal will give you the most reward. Rewards include currency, gold, and cosmetics. And you can queue for PvP matches as much as you want. There is no limit. The next thing I want to talk about are Void Rifts. Void Rifts are a PvE activity where 4 players team up and go through a maze-like map to defeat elite enemies and gather 3 keys. Once the team has 3 keys, the team goes and fights this hard boss. Defeating this boss will allow players to open a chest containing things like SR and SSR matrices, proof of purchase, and weapon upgrade materials. Void Rifts are available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you get 1 extra chance on those days. So you can complete a Void Rift every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or wait until Friday and do Void Rifts 3 times. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what a Void Rift looks like. next thing I want to talk about is Frontier Clash. Frontier Clash works in a very similar way to Void Rifts. So you get one attempt every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And the rewards for beating Frontier Clash are gear instead of matrices. So in Frontier Clash, you team up with 3 other players, and you get 8 minutes to fight as many waves of monsters as possible. And every 3rd wave, you fight this big boss. So in those 8 minutes, your team wants to kill as many waves as possible, and the more waves you kill, the higher the rewards you get. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what Frontier Clash looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is the Wormhole. The Wormhole is this game's roguelike mode. You have a set of stages to beat, and the more stages you beat, the more purple dust you get. You can use the purple dust to buy various things such as purple gear. And when you level up, you unlock more difficult wormholes. So the first wormhole has 8 stages to beat. On each stage, you have to kill as many enemies as possible to fill a progress bar before a time limit expires. When the bar is 100%, you beat the stage and you go on to the next stage. HP is carried over to the next stage, and you can't change any relics or weapons during a run. Whenever you kill an elite enemy, you get to choose one of 3 buffs you can receive, and the buff choices are random. The buffs do carry over to the next stage. You can do wormhole runs as much as you want, there is no limit. I'll include a gameplay clip of what a wormhole looks like. The next thing I want to talk about are side stories. So to get to your side stories, go here, go to Simulacra, and go to stories. So as you play through the game, you'll unlock more of these side stories. And these side stories are pretty much just a quest line that you can do that tells you the backstory of each of these characters. So let's view more information about the Meryl side story. So for completing this storyline quest line, you get gold nuclei and you get dark crystal. So it's worth doing these. So I'll show a little bit of gameplay for the side story for Meryl just to show what it looks like.
急にお呼び立てして申し訳ございません。私はデータベースがハッキングされ、非常に重要なデータの一部が消えデータユニットにはセキュリティプログラムを導入していますが、間の盗まれたデータユニットはコラント雪原にあるとの報告を受けています。そのためシューリー先生が同行します。データのありかはシューリーに知らせてありますので。
博士、ご安心ください。エクセキューター、準備はいいですか？よろしい。コラント雪原の中心地帯に到着。前方200メートルに敵を探知、殲滅してください。こちらは別の場所を探索します。おめでとうございます。手本、データ処理、情報の記録、資料、戦闘という選択肢は私の機能にはありません。メリルのデータはこの辺りにあるはずです。信号地点に敵機械のエナジー反応を検知、排除を優先します。 レゾナンスが発生。マッチングを開始。マッチング成功。結果はメリルの意識のかけら7です。
The next thing I want to talk about are world bosses. World bosses work like they do in any other MMO. You fight this big boss in the open world with a massive group of other players. If you open your map, you can check the locations of these world bosses. They are shown with these icons here. And if you click on one of these icons, you can check the possible rewards for beating a world boss. So beating a world boss has a chance of dropping SR and SSR weapons, as well as SR and SSR matrices. So when you beat a world boss, a chest appears and you can open it with a yellow cipher key. You can get yellow cipher keys by completing weeklies. You can also force open that chest, which won't use up a cipher key. And different world bosses have different rewards, so make sure you check the rewards for each world boss by clicking on the icon. Also, you can farm these world bosses as much as you want. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what fighting a world boss looks like. The next thing I want to talk about are ruins. Ruins are basically soul dungeons that you unlock more of as you level up and progress through the game. You only get rewards once for being a ruin, so it is not repeatable content. Ruins give rewards such as XP, gold, Omnium crystals, relic shards, and weapon upgrade materials. Each rune has an easy, normal, and hard difficulty, and each difficulty has different level requirements. I'll include a short gameplay clip of what a rune looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is what you should prioritize on doing on a daily basis. So the first thing I would do is go to the daily supply box and make sure I claim my daily reward. The next thing I would do is check in with my crew, and I want to do as many crew missions as possible, and I also want to make sure I donate to my crew. The next thing I would do is make sure I eat a meal from Mia's kitchen, and then I would do my 4 daily bounties. The next thing I would do is use my vitality, and I can use my vitality on joint operations if I need new gear or new matrices, or I can do dimensional trials or interstellar exploration if I need weapon upgrade materials or matrix upgrade materials. The next thing I would do is ability training. After doing all those daily tasks, then I would advance the main storyline quest. If I hit a limit on the main storyline quest, then I will work on map exploration and do as much map exploration as possible. So doing map exploration includes doing ruins, doing side quests, finding scenic points, or opening chests. If you're done with map exploration, then I would do the Bygone Phantasm, the Apex League, the Frontier Clash, or Void Rifts. So next thing I want to talk about is the Gacha System. So the Gacha System is how you obtain weapons. In order to obtain weapons, you need to do pulls, and in order to do pulls, you need to use currency called black and gold nuclei. You obtain these nuclei by playing the game and completing the content, or you can use real world money to buy more nuclei. These nuclei are then used to do pulls, which give random weapons or other things like weapon materials. So the more nuclei you gain, the more pulls you can do, the higher the chance of you getting a SSR weapon. So weapons come in different rarities, including S, SR, and SSR. SSR weapons are the strongest because they are the most rare. There's also a pay system where you get a guaranteed SSR if you don't get a SSR weapon in 80 pulls. If you get a duplicate weapon in your pulls, it will allow you to upgrade that certain weapon for special passive effects. So there are 2 banners, one for gold nuclei and one for black nuclei. Black nuclei are more common, but using the black nuclei banner does not give you pity. So the gold nuclei banner does have pity, but so it's easier to get SSRs, but gold nuclei are rare and harder to obtain. There is also a limited banner, which features a specific SSR character that has a higher chance of rolling for than the other SSRs. The current banner is for Nemesis. You roll for this banner with red nuclei, which you obtain from completing events or using real world money. So for this banner, it also has pity. There is also a banner for matrices, which you can pull on for more matrices and have a chance of getting a SSR matrix. Like weapons, matrices come in S, SR, and SSR, with SSR matrices being the strongest. This banner also has pity, where you get a guaranteed SSR matrix in 40 pulls. For this banner, it uses a currency called Proof of Purchase, and Proof of Purchase can be earned by converting Dark Crystal. There are many ways to earn Dark Crystal, such as claiming rewards in your adventure log. There is also a limited Matrix banner, which is similar to the limited weapon banner and also uses its own currency. To get this currency, you once again have to convert from Dark Crystal. So when you do pulls, you also get this currency called tokens. These tokens are then can be used in a store to purchase duplicates of weapons you own or weapon upgrade materials. So next thing I want to talk about is the SSR ticket that everyone can get. So in order to get the SSR ticket, you do it through the newcomer event. So when you complete these missions, it gives you points. And when you reach enough points, you get certain rewards. And at 700 points, you get this SSR weapon box that you can open and select any SSR weapon that you want. And I suggest only using this ticket if you know for certain which SSR you want. The next thing I want to talk about is who you should roll for. So here I have a tier list. So who you want to roll for is going to depend on whether you want to play as a DPS, healer, or tank. For tanks, you want to roll for Meryl or Huma, with Meryl being the best tank. Meryl is really good for breaking shields. For healers, you want to roll for Nemesis, Coco, or Zero. Nemesis is the best healer in the game, and she's going to be strong throughout the whole entire game. She's still being used in the current Chinese meta. Coco and Zero are also decent options for healers. For DPS, you want to roll for Samir, King, or Tsubasa. Samir is definitely one of the strongest DPS heroes right now. She is a ranged character, so she is very easy to play. And she is still being one of the top DPS heroes in the current Chinese meta. King is really good for breaking shields. He's kind of this hard-hitting melee character, so he's another good DPS. Tsubasa is also really good, as she is a ice bow user, so she's also another pretty good DPS hero. So you can also reroll your account, but I won't go over the whole reroll process. I will link to a video guide made by Vulcan, another Tower of Fantasy content creator, as well as a content creator on other gacha games. So I'll include a link to that guide in the video description below. The next thing I want to talk about is how to redeem codes to get free rewards. To redeem codes, and this is for PC, you want to hold down the left alt button, click on this present icon right here, go to rewards, go to exchange, and this is how you redeem codes. As of right now, August 12, 2022, there are currently 3 active codes. They are TOF 666, TOF 888, and I love TOF. I misspelled love. So I love TOF. So you definitely want to redeem those codes before it's too late. I'll also include those codes in the video description below. The next thing I want to talk about is the interactive Tower of Fantasy map. This is a very useful tool because it can show you the location of anything in the game. The most useful things it can show you are the locations of gold nuclei, black nuclei, and chests. Also, you can click on anything and mark them as found. I'll include a link to this map in the video description below. So there you have it. Hope this guide helps you start off strong in Tower of Fantasy. There was a lot of material to cover, so I hope it helped you get a good understanding of the game and what you're supposed to be doing. If you liked this video, please click on the like or subscribe button, as it helps out the channel and it helps me put out more content such as this video. My name is Hype Train, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.